My name is Jeff Lichtman. I work in the Department of Molecular and Cellular Biology and also in the Center for Brain Science at Harvard University. Of all the parts of the body that humans have studied, there is none more complicated or mysterious than the brain. And neuroscience is the field that tries to understand this very complicated organ. The brain, like all other organs, is made up of nerve cells. Other organs, it's kidney cells or liver cells. The difference between the brain and these other organs is that the numbers of types of nerve cells far exceed the numbers of types of cells in the rest of the body combined. And what compounds the problem with the diversity of cell types in the brain is the fact that these cells are interconnected in a vast and very complicated wiring diagram, because the cells, rather than being little circles or cubes or rectangles, are actually look more like spiders with very, very long wires that connect them to cells elsewhere. And to understand the function of the brain, you really have to understand how they're connected. There have been very few technologies that allow you to see the full glory or nightmare of all these wires, and the kinds of technologies we're developing are designed to allow us to see the entire wiring diagram of the brain. To do that, we have to see what is in every little part of a piece of brain volume, and that requires us to cut brains very thin, and by thin I mean about 1,000th as thin as a human hair. And then each thin section, we image everything in that section with a special kind of electron microscope that has extraordinarily high resolution. And then we do that for section after section after section of the brain. And you can think of those pictures as if they're frames of a movie. And if you play them one after another, you're not moving through time, but you're moving through space. So it's basically a movie that allows you to follow individual wires as they pass from one section to another. And you have to go through 30,000, maybe even 100,000 sections to get from one end of a cell to the other end of a cell. But by doing that, you can see every single wire, every single direction, and every single connection each wire makes with the wires of other cells. And these connections are called synapses. And this technique has enough resolution to see all the synapses. The brain is profoundly mysterious, largely because we don't have a lot of information about how the nerve cells are interconnected. And the hope is that by generating this kind of data, we will have a information treasure trove, a huge big data set upon which to study the brain now in much greater detail. It's basically trying to take a physical brain and turn it into a digital object that is capable of being mined for information and studied, whereas in a person the brain is inaccessible. Now the brain is accessible because it's in silico, if you will. It's inside a computer.